Currently, the only way to get the grenade launcher is to get the Army Specialist to level 15. In order to help the Army Specialist level up, you need to collect these 3 items and give it to him. If you remember the Halloween event, last Santa set it up to where you were awarded 2, 4, or 10 points for each item given to Frankie. The Army Specialist works in a very similar way, except in this case, the items give the Specialist 1, 2, and 3 experience points. It takes 115 points to level him up. Thankfully, this number does not go up with each level, so the total amount of points we need to gather to get the grenade launcher is 1610. Obviously, the fastest way to get these points is by killing the enemies of Bunker Alpha in hard mode. Clearing both floors will give you anywhere from 140 to 180 experience points, depending on how lucky you are. 18 of those points will be from killing the blind one. If you haven't checked out the video I posted yesterday on killing the blind one, I strongly recommend that you do. I mentioned several details in that video that are crucial for high level play. I also mentioned in that video that the blind one gives 57 points. That was a mistake. The research team was still using a different scaling method at that time. Sorry about that. The correct answer is that the blind one gives 18 points. So Bunker Alpha hard mode is the fastest way to get points, but we can only do Bunker Alpha every other day, which means it would take us 22 days to get a grenade launcher. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to wait that long. And it just so happens that there's another way to get experience points for the Army Specialist. Many of you may know this by now, but toxic spitters in the red winter zone will often drop these experience items. It's not much. Each red winter zone has 4 toxic abominations, so you'll get an average of 4 to 5 points every time you visit. But that can add up pretty quickly, and if you follow the strategy I'm about to show you, you can spend less resources gathering points here than you will at Bunker Alpha. Now, I don't want to get into all my winter zone strategies because I already did that in my video on how to farm copper. If you want to learn my tricks on how to save energy while farming the red winter zone, or how I farm lots of copper using very few resources, check out that video, because in this video I'm going to assume that you already know those tricks. And please don't ask me a question about the winter zone in this video if you haven't first watched that video, because I probably answered it already. Okay, so the goal here is to get in, get all the experience items along with a lot of copper, fur, and duct tape, and then get out fighting the least amount of enemies as possible. The biggest challenge you will find in doing this is knowing which of the big red blobs are frozen bloaters versus one of the 4 toxic abominations that you are trying to kill. You don't want to kill frozen bloaters because they're a tough opponent and they give you nothing in return for killing them. But sneaking around to identify the toxic abominations takes a long time. However, if you bring a rifle with a kilometer sight, you will be able to identify enemies before you broach the inner circle of your minimap. Because the modification increases the range of the weapon, it also increases the range in which you can see the enemy's health bar. This will allow you to run around the map identifying where the toxic abominations are without ever having to get in the crouch position. Once you find one, switch to melee weapons, kill it, and then grab the item. Now, sometimes the toxic abomination will be so close to a frozen bloater or a numb zombie that you aren't able to sneak up on it. If this is the case, you can either aggro him to a safe distance and kill him, or you can run in, hit him once, and then exit the map. When you re-enter the map, get into the crouch position and switch to your biggest melee weapon. When the toxic abomination comes after you because you did some damage to him, click attack as soon as he gets in range. If you hit him before he hits you, you will get triple damage on your first hit. You can actually do this as much as you want, but I'm too lazy to do that, so I just finished him off. Once you kill all 4 toxic abominations, reset the red zone in the same way that you would if you were normally farming copper, and then do it again, and again, and again. This approach will take an hour and a half of gameplay to get the 115 points required to level up the Army Specialist. This, of course, does not include travel time. When you level up the Specialist, you will get the item that corresponds with that level. If there's no corresponding item for that level, then you will get a floppy disk that gives you coordinates to find a military chest. That chest is full of amazing things. For example, after 6 months of playing this game, this is the first VSS I've ever gotten. We do not know yet if the loot from the chest corresponds with the level of the military specialist, so just in case, I'm going to be saving all my future floppy disks for when I get my army specialist to level 15. Well, that's it guys. I hope that helps. If it did, please give this video a like. I know a lot of you were expecting my Bunker Alpha hard mode tutorial today. Thanks for being patient with me. I promise that it will be my next video. It's a lot of information and I just want to make sure it's really good. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.